Hello, people of the internet. Well, this is something different, isn't it? This is a spreadsheet, and this is a spreadsheet that I've been working on for a long time. I actually started way back when I bought the 120 set of Ohuhu markers, and I put them all in here as a colour set, because then other sets started coming out. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a full comparison of what you get in each set. So, on this side is the pen number, and on this side is the pen name. Here is the 120 set. So these are all the colours in this light blue here that you get in the 120 set. We go all the way down, finishes at black. Now you can see that in the 216 set that came out, these are the extra colours that you got. And there's some more down here as well. So these are the extra colours on top of the 120 set that came out. Then they brought out a 104 set, because the 104 set plus the 216 set equals the 320 set. So these are the colours that we get in column 3 here in the 104 set. And then finally, running alongside it all is the 320 set. The full set of Ohuhu Alcohol markers, apart from all these ones which are not in that set. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the view a bit, because obviously this is in set order at the moment, and what I'm going to do is to change it into the order where you can see what smaller sets are in each bigger set. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just change the view to show the first pastel set that came out, which is now called the sweetness set. And as you can see, this set here is also in the 216 set. If I undo that there and scroll back up, you can see it was an add-on to the 120 set. So the 120 set didn't come with any pastels at all, any of this first set of pastels. So when they brought out the first set of pastels, these was all new. These were not ones that was in the 120 set. So you could have happily bought the new pastel set and not got any duplicates if you had the 120 set. Then they brought out the second pastel set, which is now called the sweetness set. And as you can see, some of these colours were in the 120 set, so you're now getting some duplicates, and they were also in the 216 set, and some of these are also in the 104 set, which is the set that makes these two up. 320 is the add-on set to the 216, which makes the set up to 320. But there's also two colours, like Tea Rose and Cotton Pearl, that are in the Pastel 2 or Blossoming set that are not in any of the other sets. Not in the 120, not in the 216, not in the 104, and not in the 320. So if you want these two colours, you have to buy the Blossoming set. Okay, let's have a look at the midtones next. So the midtones was a 48 set that came out, and you can see these midtone set are wholly in the 216 set. So if you have the small mid-tone set, they are part of the 216 set, which by default will also make them part of the 320 set. You don't need to buy these if you've got the full set. So then we're going to look at the Skin Tones 24 set, and you can see that in the Skin Tone 24 set, some of them are in the old 120 and therefore 216 set as well. There's one that is in the 104 set, and then there's all of these ones here. All of these colours here are not in any of the sets. So if you buy the 24 set of Skin Tones, you end up with 14 colours that don't exist in the 320 set. But better than that, if you buy the 36 set, you get these that are duplicated in the 320 set. So that's basically 15 that you'll get duplicated, but that means that there's 21 new colours that exist in the Skin Tones 36 set that you don't get in the 320 set. And then finally, there is one other pen that if you're a completist, you won't have. If you even if you buy the Skin Tones for the 21 extra, the Blossoming set for the 2 extra, you'll still be missing one of the pens. So let's have a look to see what that pen is. And that pen is yellow grey. Yellow grey 100 is only in the grey tone set. So you'd have to buy the whole grey tone set for one yellow grey pen. I'll just let you know, I haven't bought that. I don't need any more grey pens. So let's go back finally and have a look at them all again, so you can see. So we start at the top, 120 set, 216 set. You can see how they work together. 104 set, making it up there. These 2 that you are missing that you can get from the Blossoming set. And then all of these ones are the ones that are not in the 320 set. So you end up, and to get all of those, you basically need to buy the Blossoming set, the Skin Tones 36, and the the grey tones 36, and you'll end up with that one. So now I'm going to put a copy of this downloadable in my Ko-fi site down below, and also a swatch sheet so you can swatch, because I mean, if I've done all this work and you've got the full lot, or you want to see what you're missing, I might as well have made this into a swatch sheet. So that's included down below. It does go over to multiple sheets. I've also done it in 2 orders, because currently this is in set order. So you can see how I created it as the sets came out, and it sort of evolved into this. I've also got it in an order where I can, let's do data, sort, is it moaning that I haven't got it expanded? It is. So let's get the whole thing included so we don't miss anything, and do data sort, and we're going to sort it by what I'm calling Ohuhu order. Order. Now this order is how Ohuhu, wow, it's really difficult to say that, how Ohuhu have it on their website. So obviously you can see all the packs now get mixed up, the 320 there, but this is in their order. So I'll also have the swatch sheet in their order. So there'll be basically, I think, 2 downloads, one with 2 blank swatch sheets in their order, and in the other order that I just showed you, and then this same thing filled in, so if you want to go through and check which sets you've got and sets what sets you're missing. Okay, we're going to switch back over to the desk now, so stick with me as we go to the desk. Well, that's better. Here I am back at my desk, the right way round. It felt much too much like work sitting there with them spreadsheets and all that kind of thing. So basically what I'm going to do now is the lovely people at Ohuhu actually sent me a little goodie box recently. Now I have pretty much all of, or so I thought, the Honolulu B Markers. I have the 320 set. And they wanted to send me, obviously I've got some videos out there talking about Ohuhu, which I did with all my own goods. You know, they didn't send me anything. I'm not sponsored. They're not paying me for anything. But they asked if they could send me some markers. So I asked if they could send me the Blossoming set. Yes, I wanted those 2 colours. And if they're going to send me a set of pens, I might as well get a set where I'm going to get some benefit out of them. Now, they also sent me this beautiful mixed media pad as well, which I have not opened yet. Now, I'm not a... Let's get it open. Hold on. I got that cut. Yeah. I'm not a drawer artist. But this looks amazing. This looks like the perfect collage book, doesn't it? So you may see this if I ever decide to share my collage bits and bobs. I might use this for collaging and share it with you. So thank you very much, Ohuhu, for sending me this. This looks amazing. It says mixed media pad. Great. So, just so you know, for full disclosure, Ohuhu sent me a mixed media pad and they sent me these Blossoming markers. Now, the reason why I really like the pastel markers, though first of all, let me just swatch those two colours. The magical two colours that I don't have. Oh, do we remember what they were? They were cotton something, wasn't it? Cotton Joe? No. Tea Rose Light was one of them, and Cotton Pearl was the other. Not going to sit here and subject you to swatching the entire set, but I am going to swatch these two. So Cotton Pearl Light Tea Rose, Cotton Pearl EO20. Here it is. Oh, it's a nice colour. Oh, I love these pens. I forget how lovely Ohuhu brush tips are. That's Cotton Pearl. We'll let that dry down. And then this one is Light Tea Rose, which is RO90. For all you people that have already got this set, you're like, oh. But if you went straight for the 320, for the first time you're seeing these. Beautiful. Two beautiful colours there. If you've not seen the Ohuhu Honolulu pens, by the way, I like the ones, the Honolulu Bs. So brush on this side and fine tip on these side. So these are my, because I don't like the chisel. I am not a chisel fan. I much prefer the brush on one end and the fine tip. I use the fine tip for mandalas and, you know, fine details, and I use the brush tip for everything else. How anyone works with the chisel, I don't know. But the chisel is not for me. So yeah, that's my favourite type of pen. And obviously, if you've not seen Ohuhu before, they come marked with the ends. The fine tip end has got the grey lid there, and they're colour numbered on and named on the top. And smell wise, I guess I've got used to the smell. I used to find the smell quite strong, but they're nowhere near as strong as Sharpies. They're actually not bad. I think I've got used to them. All right, now, as I started saying, but then I interrupted myself, as I often do, the reason why I like pastel markers is because I like to use them for undercoating, underlaying, basing, I think a lot of people call it, but doing the underpainting of pencil drawings. So an example of that is this. So this, you can see it's been shaded, the little dragon wings have been shaded and the clock has been shaded, but this was actually underpainted or based with alcohol markers. And I find that if you want to, the underpainting has to be quite light so that you can actually apply the shading on top. And I find that with pastel coloured markers, that underpainting is always going to be light because they're pastel coloured. Really all the underpainting or basing is doing is getting rid of all the white of the paper. And that way you can use your pencils over the top and you don't need to do as much pencil. If I switch back to this picture here, this is an all pencil drawing. Okay, so this is all pencil. So there's layer upon layer of pencil. Here I use pencil light in the background. I use the pencil light on the birdies. But then on this picture and this picture, I used alcohol markers in the background. And then I layered on top with pencils, which meant I didn't have to do so much pencil work. And then this one, not all of it is shaded with pencils. So round the door frame is just straight alcohol marker colouring, and these are Ohuhus. So is the door. I've done no shading on the door, but then the flowers are based with alcohol markers and then shaded. So that's why I really like pastel markers, and that's why I'm really pleased I have a set of the blossoming ones from Ohuhu. So let's do a little bit of colouring, let's do a little bit of basing, and then I can show you what I mean. First things first, if you're going to use alcohol markers in any colouring books, they will bleed through the paper. So you can see in this swatch that I just did of those two colours, they bled through the paper. And so you must use single-sided colouring book. Well, unless of course you don't mind whatever the picture is on this side will get ruined. So in those samples that I showed you earlier, you can see that's the back page of all the ones where I've done basing with alcohol markers. So if there was a picture on here, it would be kaput. So first things first, it will bleed. Second of all, it will bleed enough to go through to this page as well. So you need to put a something between the pages. So I think I'm going to do this heart one. Let's do it on the first one. So that's not bad. Such nice pictures in these R.J. Hampton books. Great for alcohol markers. So you can either put some paper in there, which will catch the colour as it comes through, or one of the things that I use is I use a plastic sheet. Now these are, we call them slippery fish at work. You know, that you put files in and they're sort of kept in the filing cabinet. And you can see I've used this one because it's got alcohol marker on it. You can see it there, look, the blue coming through. Now the reason why I prefer using the plastic sheet is because, and this is my own theory, when you use alcohol marker and it goes through and it's soaked into a paper, it's like instantly sucked in and dried. End of story. If you have a polythene sheet under there, it sits, so it soaks through to the paper and it sits a little bit and it keeps it wetter a little bit longer. And that's a tip, because when you're using alcohol markers, you need to want to keep it as wet as possible when you're working and blending colours. So let's do this flower down here, because in honour of the light tea rose colour that comes in this, I'm going to use that light tea rose, and then because that looks like a sort of dog rose, tea rose kind of thing. So I'm going to base with this, and then we'll go over it with a bit of pencil. All right, use the brush tip, bring you down nice and close so I can see what's going on. Here we go. Another tip as well is when you're colouring with alcohol markers, don't go right up to the edge, because they do bleed through. They do sort of spread rather than bleed. They spread a little bit, and because they spread, you will go over the line if you go right up to the line. So just doof, like that, not quite to the edge, and watch that fill in there. That will fill up to the edge. But if I'd have gone right up to the edge, it would have gone over. Okay, and swoop, do that bit down there. Love using these brush tips, because the good thing about the brush tips is you've got the really pointy bit, so you can be really gentle and really light. I find with the chisel tip it's more scratchy. I don't know, I'm just not proficient with the chisel tip. We do it all the same colour because we're going to do a bit of shading. So there you go, we've got a nice flat colour base layer on that rose there. Now I'm gonna go away and let that dry for a little bit, because right now that's not dry. That will change colour a little bit as it dries. So I'm going to come back in just a minute. Okay, so that's nice and dry now. So yeah, you can see it feels dry. A couple of minutes have gone past, and what I've done is I've got 3 pencils here. I've got a peach, a mid-tone, and then a dark tone, and the peach colour that I've got pretty much matches that, and that's mainly just because I want it to match. I want something to be able to blend the darker colours in that doesn't stand out. So let's give this a go. Let's start with the darkest shade that I've got here, and where these lines are, these, oops, let's bring it down a little bit, these indicate shading, so we know that these bits are going to be dark, so we can do those. And and we can do a little bit down here. Now this is the good thing. Oops. This is the good thing. You don't have to be so precise when you've already got the undercoat. Because no one's going to see if I'm all slapdash and sloppy with my pencil work. I'm doing a slightly darker shade now. Slightly lighter shade. That was the darkest shade that I just put down there. Need a little bit more of it over there. And just so you know, I am not the best at shading, not by a long chalk. There are people who are much better than me at this, much better at knowing all about light sources and all that kind of stuff. What I kind of do is just follow the dark lines that are there, work on the theory about, you know, bottom sections will be darker because there's less light going to it. So let's take a bit of that mid-tone up there as well. Been a bit too scruffy, I've got a line there now. And then I'm going to take the lightest shade, which is actually called Peach, and just go over that. And like I say, if I was doing this without the undercoat, you'd just be seeing the white paper through there now. See, that, like that bit that I've missed there. So grab that, blend that in a little bit, and then ooh, blend all this in a little bit. We need that mid-tone, I think, just to blend those in a little bit. Lift the pink a little bit. So just lift that up. So you can see it's gone from being a very flat single colour to being multiple colours. Now if you take your time, obviously you'll do it a little bit better than me. I am just trying to give you an example of how it works. But this is what I find having the pastel sets of the pens are really useful for. So if you don't have the 320 set and you wanted to sort of use markers for using as an undercoat, an underpainting. For years artists have done underpaintings on their paintings. You know, no one goes straight in with their sort of acrylic paints and goes straight in. They do an underpainting, the shadows, the sort of shapes kind of thing, and then they fill in the detail, fill in the detail, fill in the detail. And that's what you can do with alcohol markers. So hopefully that was a few little tips there. Thank you very much to Ohuhu for sending me this set of alcohol markers. As I've said, these are the only set they've ever sent me. All the others I have bought with my own money. So this is an honest review. My honest review is Ohuhu are the best alcohol markers, but hey, and that's not because they sent them to me. I have tried many. If you've seen this video up here, you will know that I have had and still have many alcohol markers. And Ohuhu I find are the best. So thank you very much, Ohuhu. Take care for now, and I'll see you in the next one.